Hello and welcome along as the Cross Series League Racing Championship returns this week. It's round 6. Oh, hello, that's our leader. That's Peterson. And Ross is just headed past him. We've just seen him flash through there. And Turn 1 claims yet another victim. Round 10 of the championship, and everything to play for a few of our drivers. As
there it goes.
There we go. I think there's just all of a sudden the daylight has fallen off the cliff, and there's people absolutely everywhere trying to find their way round, off track, left, right, and centre. Gastel. You're hoping for certainly not a ghastly race, as he's, tell you what, he's really files and coats up onto that high line. Cower melting for a much lower one as we go green here for the final time at Lima Land. I mean, when you saw those two coming together in your mirrors, surely it must have been a big weight gone from your shoulders.
I just kept my foot in it and I just kept going.
Spoken like a true pro. Bit of a question. Obviously, are you going to remain? You know, you're going to come out in a week's time. We're going to see you out on track as we head to Valencia.
Yeah, I plan to be there unless we get another last-minute decision to go racing here in real life. That was why I wasn't here last week. We decided to make a last-minute decision to go do some racing, and yeah.
And how did you get on?
What's that?
How did you get on? Obviously, when you went, well, I say real-life racing a couple of weeks ago.
Trey, let me put this to you in American terms. How well did you do last weekend?
Oh, pretty good, I think.
Here come the lights. Let's get ready to go racing in Germany for the first time. And Clog, he's jumped the start there. He's going to incur a penalty. Bouncing across the curves, the pair of them. And Thompson's finally going to go the run on him. He's going to be up the inside on the run down to kick a turn. And surely this is going to be from the lead. He backs out of him. Schenkler runs wide. But Thompson's finally got it. But here comes Ham. He's right into it, and he wants to plate off Schenkler. He runs from Rob Holt, salting his route right in these last stages. Now let's get ready to go racing from Bristol in the grand final of round 5 of the XSLR Championship. And there's bang and Stein into the wall early.
After the crazy final round that we had at Eldora 2 weeks ago, the Cross Series Racing League makes its way to Phoenix for round 9 of the XSLR Championship. We're just past the halfway point of the season. Our drivers are already competed in 2 disciplines, and today is a chance for them to show their hand at asphalt oval racing. They have over 620 horsepower at their disposal in these Chevy Silverado trucks. And I'm sure they will be pushed to their absolute limits when it comes to the race today. My name is Sebastian Bosher-Williams. I'll be in the commentary booth for the rest of the season, replacing Tim Cox, who's decided to be out on track instead. But alongside me, I have some very familiar names. In the virtual production booth is Jonathan Grabowski, and alongside me is Alex Andersen. And Alex, we've replaced the dirt ovals with the road ovals. How much of a different skill set do these drivers require? Is it fairly easy to transition from one to the other, or is it completely different?
Well, judging off from real-life stats, I would say for real-life drivers, it's a pretty easy transition for them. But going on iRacing, it's completely different, Sebastian. I mean, going on dirt, you're sliding through the corners, you know, stabbing the gas, just trying to get grip using multiple different lanes. Whereas in oval, you have to grip ride these corners, get these cars woed down, be easy on the gas on exit, because if you slide, could result in a spin, and there goes all your time and positions that you worked so hard for throughout this race. And we are here for the first Asphalt Oval stream on this channel. So, I mean, I think it's going to be pretty fun, and it's definitely going to be not going to be an easy transition for these guys, I would say.
I think I tend to agree with you. That's what I love about the XSLR Championship. We've got we've got every discipline in iRacing, and drivers will tend to naturally suit one over the other. So maybe drivers that struggled with the dirt section might find a little bit more comfort in these oval cars, or maybe it's a little bit of the reverse. But qualifying very much underway, only 2 laps today, so very quick qualifying today. So well, it's very key, isn't it, Alex, to really build up the speed on your first lap. How would you take qualifying? Would you sort of sacrifice lap 1 to build up enough speed for lap 2? Or do you almost want a little bit of a banker lap to make sure that, you know, if you do make a mistake on your second lap, if you do touch the wall, get a 0x, that you're not, you know, looking at it starting at the very back of the field?
Well, honestly, I would really say it all depends on the track, because if I'm qualifying at tracks like Daytona, I would probably want to push on my second lap, but for these trucks at this track, probably going to want to be on your first lap. You know, you come out of the pits, make sure the tires are warm, then you're on high through turns 3 and 4, cut it down low, get a nice diamond line to pick up the most speed down that front straightaway and get a really nice run into turns 1 and 2, and honestly, I would expect that's what a lot of these people are going to be doing. Is Bobby Ross, that's the first time on the board running that middle lane through 1 and 2, that time with a 28.9. Looks like a flat lap there, 28.9 flat, and he's going to head through the dog leg. And actually, in real life, the start-finish line is currently where the backstretch is right now. So we are on the 2008 version, so the track surface is a lot older and probably a lot more bumpy to these guys, so it's going to be just all the more harder for these guys to control these trucks around this circuit. DiPiero goes up to second, Kier goes to third, and Cook goes to fourth.
Qualifying very much underway then. David Del Silva made a mistake on the exit of the final corner, found very quickly how easy these cars are to spin. Brandon Gass, what can he do? Jerry DiPiero as well, currently in second place. He's currently on his second lap. Brandon Gass as well. He has one more lap to improve. What can he do? Comes through the dogleg section. You're very right, Alex. Of course, we're on the old layout. We've done that, so you know the track is free and we can get more drivers into the series. But Phoenix has gone under many renovations since this was scanned. Tim Cox, the man that was formerly in my position, heads into third place, but that looks like a very damaged car in the pit lane. How has he managed to get that car into the pit lane? Has he gone airborne at some point and ended up in the pit lane, do we think?
Well, you can drive back pretty destroyed oval cars back into the pits, unlike road series where if you're in an open wheel car, you know, you tap the wall, the right front's broken, you got a tow. And these things, you can probably put them through hell on earth and still drive them back to the pit lane. So these things are quite durable, and honestly, at a track like this where aerodynamics aren't going to be as important as when compared to driver skill, I would say that you're going to see a lot of guys beating and banging their doors here. As Jake Ham went fastest just then with a 28.889 there. He shoots himself up to pole position, but I am going to mention something in that in iRacing, the later in the day that a session is, the more grippier the track is going to be. So honestly, some of the fast drivers that we know are going to be quick around here, like Josh Clogg and Adam Thompson, Jimmy Howard as well, they're probably waiting a little bit to get just that ever so slightly later time of day just to get more grip out of their trucks. Here we go, onboard Jimmy Howard, braking late a little bit there into turns 1 and 2, get it sit nice down to the yellow line. You got to really hesitate on the exit here. He gets a nice smooth exit, no wheel spin. That's exactly what you want to do. He brings it nicely onto the curve to the dogleg. Now brakes at around the Chevrolet sign for turns 3 and 4. Just got to keep it on that yellow line. Get a nice exit here. We went a little wide, although no wheel spin. Pretty good lap there from Jimmy Howard. We'll see where it puts him at the moment. And it looks like it's going to set him into P4 pretty good there with the 29.0.
Yeah, I thought Howard's lap was actually going to be invalidated. He hit the wall just before the start of his lap. If you hit the wall while you're on your lap, you end up very much getting a 0x and an off or an invalidation. Qualifying almost done. Still 3 drivers left to go out in qualifying. Adam Thompson, Josh Clogg, Mike Sorum and Randy Swetzler, 4 drivers left, yet I should say, to take to the track for qualifying, and they will not get an opportunity. 5 seconds left in qualifying, so Howard with that very late attempt, really maximizing the track grip possible to him. Qualifying is done and dusted, and your grid is set for round 9 of season 4 of the XSLR Championship, and Jake Ham takes the pole position. The number 85, the fastest man in qualifying. Bobby Ross will start alongside him, the 33. He's in second. Jerry DiPiero in third, a 10th off the pace from your pole sitter Jimmy Howard. That late lap, he finds himself in 4th place. Tim Cox, the newcomer to the championship, he's in 5th with Brandon Gass alongside him in 6th place. James Keir, the only other British driver, he starts in 7th place. Sam Cook in 8th with David Del Silva and Josh Clogg 9th and 10th. Then Randy Swetzler, Adam Thompson and Mike Sorum, your 11th, 12th and 13th place. And well, Alex, what a race have we got in store for us today? Of course, we've got cautions enabled, so you know, it isn't just as simple as being able to get away from the pack, lead early on, because there's always a threat of having a safety car. We saw what a safety car can do to a race if you watched the Formula One earlier on today. How would you play the opening laps, Alex? Do you want to go aggressive, or do you really want to settle in to this race tonight?
Well, in a 60-lap race, these guys, the tires are going to wear out pretty quickly, so I would expect these guys to probably be a little bit more calm early on in the opening laps of this race and just prepare for that pit stop unless a yellow comes out around the midway point. But I would say in terms of tires, these guys are probably going to want to take them at least once. I don't think they can make it to the end on one set. So, and another thing, you see the fast drivers, you know, Adam Thompson, he was fastest in practice, but he didn't post a qualifying lap. That could have hurt him if there's an incident in front of him and he's stuck on the outside and he just can't avoid it there in that 244 truck. He could just end up destroying that slow motion broadcasting number 244 car, ending his day. And I gotta say, that truck does look pretty slick out there.
Certainly it does. Adam Thompson always runs a picture of his dog on his car. I know that he made me a paint for when I was racing a few rounds ago, and if I looked outside of my window I just saw this dog staring back at me, and I'm going to blame that as while I ended up having a mare of a race. I think that was the second round of the dirt oval leg of the championship. I don't really want to talk too much about that. So the pace car is away and we're ready to get racing. Alex, very, very quickly, do you expect to see a caution today? Do you think at some point that's going to come into play? We're going to have a little bit of a pace car strategy race.
Absolutely, definitely with these guys, and just at oval racing in general.
I cannot wait to get this one underway. So Jake Ham is your pole sitter, the number 85. We're going to get ready to go racing here at Phoenix. Jake Ham is away. It's a good start from your pole sitter. Jake Ham extending the gap between himself and second place man Bobby Ross at almost 0.5 of a second. Ham having an absolutely superb start to the race. Ross and Howard very much locked in the battle at the moment. Cox in 6th place with Keir alongside me. So Gas getting past the 340 car. Having a look at the moment at Josh Clogg. He's going side by side on the low side through turns 3 and 4. A very clean start though, Alex. Everybody really easing into this race. Quite surprised in fact that we didn't have a caution almost immediately.
Yeah, a lot of side-by-side battles, but everybody being quite conservative as we open up the first few laps of this race here. We're on board with Tim Cox. Oh, the 177 car, that was Jerry DiPiero into the wall a bit in front of him. Looks like Tim's going to take advantage of this. Heads the inside. The 3 and 4 is going to clear him before they even get around to the point where you would apply some throttle to it. and that's going to move Tim Cox up into the top 5, and it looks like Jake Ham, he's done a great job pulling away a little bit. Everybody just smooth, calm, and collected so far. No major incident on track, and everybody just having a good time out here.
Calm and collected, I think, could certainly apply to Jake Ham. Absolutely dream start for him. Almost a second now between himself and the 33 of Ross. Look at this, Adam Thompson heading to the inside. He's side by side with De Silva. Thompson trying to make up those places. De Silva into the wall. You see the car buffeting from side to side. You don't want to be doing that, especially this early on already on lap 5 out of 60 here tonight. Thompson now in the 9th place. Next up for him is James Keir, the ATA. And Thompson, you know, he's had a really good season, hasn't he, Alex? And you see the pace he's got, sends it to the inside, they're too wide. Thompson, I mean, he's just able to place the car exactly where he wants it to at the moment. Is he starting to use a little bit too much tyre, would you say, Alex, at this phase of the race?
I'm not sure. I know Adam is a very good driver from behind the wheel of that machine, and I know Keir isn't going to make this an easy fight, but Thompson driving his way through the field here could be an issue in terms of tire wear. By making those aggressive moves on the inside, he could have to turn the truck more, wearing out that right front tire, which could make the truck just get tighter and tighter and tighter later on in the run, which, especially if this race goes green all the way till the end, is exactly what you aren't going to want, especially towards the halfway point when pit stops are probably going to start to become relevant. As we see Jimmy Howitt, it looks like he's going to try a move here, trying to get to the inside of Bobby Ross. Bobby's going to have to run off the outside of the corner, though, and it looks like Howitt's not going to stay there, but he has the speed to sit on the back bumper of that 33 car. I'd say it's only a matter of time before he gets around him.
He's doing it fairly soon, you have to say, because Ham is just running away with this race so far. Of course, any cautions that might end up coming into play, of course, can very much change the complexion of this race. Howitt once again tries that low line through turns 3 and 4. Really forces Ross to go high. Still side by side as they cross the start-finish line once again to start their lap number 9. Howitt to the inside, still trying to make the move past, and you have to think now that Ross is going to have to start to concede this position. But if you're Gas at the moment, we ride on board with Brandon Gas in the number 4, you must be looking and just really enjoying what you're seeing out of your windscreen, these two fighting, and that really allows Gas just to start making the moves. Do you think, Alex, we might see him start to find his way through and try and get past the battling Howitt and Ross ahead of him?
Well, personally, if I were behind the wheel of that 4 car, I wouldn't make a move unless I was absolutely positive that I have the speed to get around the cars in front of me in a short period of time, because these guys racing side by side is just going to wear their tires out more than, say, just being Jake Ham and running out there by yourself would. So these guys, I mean, it's great to make some moves. You know, track position is very important in these style of races, but ultimately, if you're racing somebody, it could wear out your tires more than you would want, and you just end up fading back to the rear towards the end of the race. I know I've made that mistake before, and I would expect that an experienced driver like Gas is probably going to know something about that as well.
We see the unexperienced Tim Cox right behind him, the 340 versus the number 4. Tim a little bit hot into turn 3. That's going to compromise him as we look on board. This is James Keir. Still trying to find his way past De Silva. De Silva taking that low line. The number 15 of Cook now starting to arrive on Keir's back bumper. Keir very much going from the offensive maneuvers to the defensive. Keir running a little bit wide through turn number 2. I think that's going to give Cook the position. Cook takes his number 15 truck up into 10th place. We rejoin the battle for second place. Howitt, Ross, Gas, Cox and Clog now all separated by less than a second. And this, Alex, is really when we start to enter the danger zone. Anybody that makes a mistake, which is so easily done in these cars, you could very much see a big accident and the caution coming out, and that could ruin many people's races.
Yeah, nothing against Bobby Ross, but I think he might be holding up these guys just a little bit, so I think it might be in Gas's best interest to try and get around him here. You can see that the Ford truck has a lot of speed early on in this race and just needs to get around that number 33 car. And you can see how much these guys have already fallen off of Jimmy Howard just by battling. Here goes Tim Cox to the inside of the Ford truck through turn 2. Ooh, tapped him a little bit, got the Ford truck loose. He went into the outside wall, gets it back together. Adam Thompson almost goes into it, and that is a lot of right side damage, and Tim Cox is around. He goes back up the track in turn 3. It looks like nobody's gonna hit him. No damage to that number 340 truck, but now we are under our first caution of the night here.
So caution is out, all caused by, I think, Tim Cox's spin. Let's have a look and see what happened. So was Tim going a little bit slower at the apex there? Because you don't tend to see a car coming up from the back so quickly. Was Cox a little bit put off, do you think, by making the contact with Gas through turn 1, Alex?
Well, you know, as an oval racer myself, I would say making contact with anybody accidentally just makes you just feel mortified behind the wheel. I'm not sure that would have affected a driver like Tim Cox, though. I think what happened there is he turned through the dog leg there and just ever so slightly caught the left rear tire onto the curb, and it ended up sending him a little bit sideways, and then the truck behind him just tapped his left rear quarter panel, and it ended up sending him around. But pit stops underway here. The top 4 rather, elect to stay out. However, Clog, Thompson, DiPiero, Gas, De Silva, Cook, and everybody behind them are all into the pit lane. And now, this is where things get interesting, because honestly, if I were behind the wheel of one of these trucks, I would have probably pitted right there, get some fresh tires, because judging off that first run, we don't know how long these runs are going to last. So as these trucks get up onto the jack stands and get their tires changed and fuel ready to go, you gotta wonder what's gonna happen to the drivers that stayed out. Jake Ham, Jimmy Howard, Bobby Ross, and James Keir. You think these guys might get swallowed up by the field on fresher tires?
Strategy very much dominating the race. We're only on lap 16 of 60 around the Phoenix Speedway tonight. So Kia, Ross, Howard, and Ham have all decided to stay out. They're going to chance their luck, as it were. And it is going to be Clog, Thompson, DiPiero, Gas, De Silva, Cook, Swetzler, Sorum, and Cox, the drivers who have come into the pits, have made a tyre change. So Clog is almost the de facto race leader, and at least if there are any more green flag, or if there is a green flag pit stop, I should say. But Ham, Howard, Ross, and Kia all hoping that we have another caution and they can come into the pit. So strategy very much dominating the race so far. And now, if you were Clog in 5th place, Alex, is it all about getting past all of these drivers as quickly as possible, or is it about saving tyres? How would you play this if you were Josh Clog at the moment?
Well, you got to do a little bit of both behind the wheel of that number 199 car. You got to try and get around these guys because you're on fresher tires, but you also have to make sure that you save those tires, because passing can wear your tires out a lot at this racetrack.
So pace car already ready to come in, and we are going to get back under racing condition. Ham once again leads the field, gets a good restart, slingshot of the final corner. Look at that, Ross now down to the inside. They're going to go 2 by 2 into turn 1. Jake Ham leads the way, Howard on the high line, Ross on the inside line, Clog as well, making up moves. So using that new rubber to his advantage, already getting past James Keir. What can Adam Thompson do? He's currently climbing his way through the field after, I think, a penalty in qualifying. Gas as well follows that low line out at the moment. Alex looking very, very rapid. So now Clog up to 4th, Thompson up to 5th, Gas down to 6th, and Keir is having a shocking restart. The ATA already down to 8th place.
And that's where you can just tell that's where the older tires are affecting some of these guys. There's actually the 15 who's linked a little bit, but I think he hit the outside wall there. But that's where you can see the tire wear coming into place. You could already see Bobby Ross got tight in turn 2 a little bit there, drifted up the track, allowed Thompson and Clog to go through. And now those guys are right on the back bumper of Jimmy Howard and are going to be easily able to sail right by him. You can just see how much slower the 37 is at the center of the corner, and I would expect them to get around Ham quite easily as well on those fresher tires. So I think staying out there was definitely a bit of a mistake from the top running drivers.
Low line still proving very fruitful. Clock now making its way up into second place. Oh, contact in the background. Adam Thompson spun round. Huge accident.
That's
And caution.
a horrible crash.
Caution number 2 flies, and it's going to be really crucial to see who has managed to escape any form of damage. That's 78 and the 177 and Adam Thompson, the 244 car, all involved. I think Tim Cox as well. Alex, take us through the replay.
It looked like gas got a little bit tight off too. Adam came down a bit there, ended up getting Adam sideways. It looks like gas got through that, but just absolute major hits. The 177 upside down. The 25 of David De Silva is destroyed. Tim Cox was in it too. The 78 is in it. The 244 being center stage there. Looked like he came down the track a little, and gas might have drifted up by getting tight just ever so slightly. It sent the 177 of Jerry DiPiero upside down. That was a horrible crash. Here's the onboard. Got airborne after hitting Thompson and sent him front end first into the catch fence. He flipped over, and it looks like he was able to drive that truck back to the pits. Thankfully he is okay, but that was a horrible crash here in this race.
I completely agree with you there, Alex. I really am very glad that, in fact, this is a sim racing race. You never like to see cars end up in the catch fencing whatsoever. Always a very dangerous place. And also seemed that many of the incidents, actually, or much of the damage was caused on secondary hits. Drivers, you know, a little bit dazed after the collision, not holding their brakes. So this has given an opportunity for Ham to come into the pit. So he's taken his stop as well. So Josh Clogg now leads this race with Cook right behind him in second place. So while we are under caution, I should say, let's give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Nexus Fab. Nexus Fabrication specializes in metal fabrication and manufacturing for commercial, residential and custom projects, as well as signage, furniture and metal repair work. Visit them at nexusfab.com. That's Nexus Fab, one of the sponsors of the XSLR Season 4 Championship. So Josh Clogg will lead the field, Alex. So, you know, the only other driver to take the field under green today has been Jake Ham. How would you start? Do you want to go early or do you want to go late? Or is it a little bit of just about surprising your competition behind you? What does Josh Clogg need to do to remain in the lead of this race?
Well, he's already on the fresher tires, so I would say he just needs to do what Jake Ham was doing earlier in this race, just try and pull away from the field, check out a little bit, save those tires, and just wait till another yellow or the end of this race. He's in a really good spot there in that number 199 car.
So we're lined up 2 by 2 once again. Quick caution periods here today. The 78 in third and fourth place. He's got a lot of damage, so I think he might be a little bit slower. Clogg gets away well, gets the jump on Cook. Cook now going to be under pressure. He's going to have to go the high line. Is Svetzler there very much looking at the inside line. So it's Clogg, Cook, Svetzler and Ham. Tim Cox losing a little bit of time in the restart. Started in fourth, down to fifth. A little bit of bump drafting, I think, there through turn 2, or through the dogleg, I should say. Svetzler now on the outside with Jake Ham trying to find his way, filter through to the front. There's a big pack behind them, side by side. Almost 3 wides to hit the straight. I think that was Gus and Cox almost making contact on the exit of turn 4. And as a third caution, I think Svetzler there, Alex, falling down the field. So our third caution, and the old adage really does come true. Cautions very much breed cautions.
Not sure what happened there. We're getting a replay of it right now. This is Mike Sorum off at turn 2. Oh, it looked like De Silva got really loose off the corner, and Sorum just cut down the track trying to avoid it, and he cut down right in front of an innocent Adam Thompson, and that's going to add even more damage to that 244 truck and even more hurt feelings for that number 244 team. Very unfortunate for them.
Yeah, Adam Thompson really not having a race to remember. Reminds me of Eldora 2 weeks ago. So let's have a look. This is on board with Adam Thompson. We see the spinning truck up ahead of him. I think at this point the damage had already happened, but you can just see, you can actually see the fact that the bonnet, I should say, is bent up, or the hood, if we're using American lingo. So Thompson, he does have an extra fast repair as long as he hasn't used both of them. He's going to pull into the pit, so I suspect, Alex, that he's going to take his final fast repair. But how would that affect him? Is he going to have to drive a little bit more cautiously now, because he doesn't have the option of being able to come into the pits and almost effectively getting a new car? Because if he picks up damage, he's got to keep it now until the end of the race.
Yeah, most certainly. If he takes that fast repair, which I presume he will, because that truck is destroyed. We'll see what he does. Yep, there it is, the new truck for that number 244 team. And I would say, yeah, you're right. He definitely is going to have to drive a lot more cautiously behind the wheel of that truck to just try and safely make some moves and not get in any other incidents, and just try and bring that 244 home quietly in a clean manner, and just try and not get involved in any other incidents. However, you can see the launch that 199 truck of Josh Clogg got off the start there, but the driver behind him that's going to be starting a row behind him gained 2 spots. That is Jake Ham, who has been the fastest up front all day in terms of race pace. So Clogg is going to have to look out for that 85 truck behind him.
Yeah, that 85 has been rapid all race long, hasn't it? Paul Sitter, and really should be leading the race if it wasn't for a little bit of a strategic transgression, as it were. So Ham and Ross, the 85 and 33. Tell you what, Tim Cox as well. I mean, a shout out to him, doing a great job so far. This is really not his wheelhouse. He tends to be a road racer. So now we start the race start procedure all over again. So Clogg, the 199, is your race leader. He will decide when he wants to get away, and I think Cook will be hoping to get a better restart than he did last time. Really almost caught napping, you have to say, was the 15, and Jake Ham really looking to capitalize, trying to take back his race lead. Lap 28 out of 60, so still just over half of the race to go. All eyes once again on the 199 truck. I tell you what, watch out for Ross, the 33 in the background as well. He's been fairly rapid off the restarts. Clogg gets a good restart once again, gets the jump on the 15. And now it's Ross trying to go the high line through turn 1, but Ham capitalizes. He's already past Cook, so the 85 making his way through. And now Cook under pressure from Ross. Cox in the background and Gas side by side, almost 3 wide as they enter turn 3. 37 looks down low, can't find a way through. Cox and Gas, we've seen that one before, haven't we, Alex? It didn't end up in spectacular fashion for Jimmy Howard. What a view he's got of the racing.
Yeah, it looks like he was trying to think about a move going for 34 that tried to get it down low, but Tim Cox shut the door on him. He's going to be able to get there this time, though. These guys are 3 wide down the back straightaway through the dogleg here. And it looks like they're 2 wide now as Gas has gotten out in front of them and is now going to bring it straight to the low line. They're not in that number 4 truck. Jimmy Howard got around Tim Cox very loose there, almost 45 degrees sideways. A very impressive save from that number 37 truck. Great driving from behind the wheel of that truck. And ooh, bit more contact behind him, the 177. And it looks like sideways Adam Thompson sending the 69 into the wall and up and over. And no caution for that. I'm not exactly sure why. It looked like iRacing deemed everybody going fast enough to let them stay green. The 69 truck upside down. That's the second flip we've had here tonight. That was incredible.
Yeah, I'm shocked, I think, as we all were in the commentary booth, that wasn't a caution. But Thompson really having a race to forget, isn't he? That's the 3rd incident he has been involved in, and he would have always been involved in every incident or every caution incident. But have a look at the moment. This is from Adam Thompson's perspective. The 177 gets turned, and then Adam Thompson really tries to recover. And poor old Mike in the 69, really the innocent bystander and all of that, Alex. And I simply cannot believe that we didn't end up with another caution period after that incident.
Yeah, that was a really bad crash, and actually Jake Ham is closing that gap to the number 199 truck a little bit there. And And it looks like he's got a nice diamond line off turn 4. They stay even as we head on to lap 34. And it looks like aside from that, it looks like Adam Thompson has brought it into his pit stall and is going to call it a night. Bad night for that team there, and it's just really unfortunate for a truck that had so much speed in practice. But Jake Ham is going to be challenging for the lead in the next few laps, and everybody else, it looks like, is just calmed down for the most part. And we just have to keep an eye on this battle for the lead and see what Jake Ham does to try and regain the top spot.
Jake Ham, of course, our pole sitter, led most of the early stint until the cautions came out. The drivers behind choosing to come into the pits. Ham running very, very close to the wall on the outside of turn 2, but gets away with it. Now Ham gaining about half a tenth each lap to the 37, heading low. That's Howard and Tim Cox. Tim a little bit wayward through turns 3 and 4. Howard has the inside line. Tim Cox unable really to defend, and Howard, after that big save that he made through turn 4, that allowed Tim Cox to get by, but Cox very much now coming under pressure from Howard. Howard making the move. That 37, even with the damage that he's got to the front right of his truck, looking fairly rapid at this phase of the race.
Yeah, and Jake Ham looks like he's closing that gap a little bit, but Jimmy Howard in that damage truck doing a great job as Tim Cox behind him just really riding in line. Everybody's just calmed down for the most part. Nobody really trying to race each other, but there is a race for the lead. Jake Ham has got his nose to the rear bumper of Josh Clogg's number 199 truck, and it looks like he was thinking about a move to the outside. Jake Ham ran him up the track, couldn't get there that time. And it looks like Hammy, looks like he got a nice diamond line off the exit. He gets to the inside of Josh Clogg down the front stretch onto the brakes for turn number 1. Jake Ham gets that nice run through the inside. He'll take the top spot as they get onto the back straightaway.
Very much outdriving Clogg. Clogg, though, really wants to get that position back. Is in the slipstream, tries to pull to the inside through the dogleg, can't find a way through. Very much towards the back of the 85 through turns 3 and 4, but Ham looking a lot better at the moment. The body language of his car suggests he's got a little bit more tyre to play with. 22 laps to go in this race. We ride on board with Josh Clogg through turn 2. Just got a little bit more understeer in the car at the moment, Alex, and Jake Ham really looking like he's on for a race win. As long as he can keep it out of the barrier, and of course, as long as we don't have another caution just to spice things up a little bit.
Yeah, and Jake Ham, I mean, he's going to be running away with this unless Josh Clogg can find some extra speed, but I think they're going to need a yellow as this tires start to wear down quite a bit. And this is where, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but green flag pit stops, you might see some guys that are further on back try and take some tires. Like, if you're Jerry DiPiero back there, or maybe David DeSilva, you might want to come into the pits, take maybe right side tires, and just try and make up some time here, but you'd have to do that right around now, so I think everybody's just going to ride along here. Oh, the 340 truck into the wall there. That's going to allow Cook an opportunity to go to the inside through 1 and 2. Contact through there. Ooh, that's going to send the 340 truck hard into the outside wall. Everybody keeps it straight, but that was a pretty big send from the 15 of Sam Cook.
That all really started with the 37 and the 340. They were going really side by side, I think, for much of the previous couple of laps. And Cook, the 15, really tried to capitalize on Tim Cox going a little bit slower. They ended up with contact. Again, no caution, so 19 laps to go in this race. The 85 now extending his gap almost up to 6 or 7 tenths of a second, but Clogg finding a little bit of pace on the entry to turns 3 and 4. Don't count out Josh Clogg in this race. Just have a feeling that he might have something up his sleeve, but have to very much wait and see if that comes to any sort of fruition. Now, you know, Alex, we're starting to see many drivers with damage. It really feels that only sort of the 85, the 199 that are currently driving around without too much damage on their cars. You know, give a sense to our viewers, how much does that affect the pace and more crucially, the tyre wear if you are carrying quite substantial aero damage?
Well, I would say it really all depends on the side. You know, if you tap the outside wall, you get some right side damage. It's going to slow you down a little bit, reduce the side force of your truck. But overall, it's not going to affect you as bad as it would on a big track. Track size really determines on ovals how much damage affects you, because you can run a destroyed truck around a small bull ring track like Martinsville and run as if it were brand new. So it really all depends on the track. But say if you were Jerry DiPiero there with a really pretty much destroyed truck, and we were racing at Daytona, which we are going to be in a few weeks' time, you were bringing that truck around Daytona, you would not last long before you would dissipate away from the field. So really all depends on track size, but at a track like Phoenix, it's not going to affect you that much. As you can see, damaged trucks like the 37 and Jimmy Howitt are still able to keep up with Brandon Gass and even try to make a move on him here. Down the front straightaway, got a great run off turn 4, and he gets to the inside, he gets his nose in front. By the time they cross the line and onto the brakes for turn number 1, they both really send it in there, and that gets them both super tight. The Ford truck has to really crank the wheel to get it turned. That allows Cook through, and Jimmy Howitt and Sam Cook move up a place.
Oh, having an absolutely storming race so far. Although his stats won't really suggest that. He's currently where he started, but that really doesn't tell the story of the the 37's race. Cook in 5th. Just under a second behind the 37. What can the number 15 do in the final 14 laps of this race? 177. DiPiero trying to get past De Silva. De Silva goes a little bit high. And DiPiero thought about making the move through turn 2. Backed out of it though. That's allowing the 78 to get involved as well. We might have a three-way battle for 9th place very, very soon. Tell you what, Adam Thompson as well. We saw him being involved in that, monumental crash, you have to say, with the 69. He's back out on the track after being in the pits for some 13 laps. So he's obviously repaired the damage after using both of his fast repairs and just really wanting to see this race out. 13 laps left to go in this race. 78 on the inside. DiPiero, the 177, trying to go on the outside. They're still too wide. Looks like Swetchler making the move. He now finds himself into 10th place. But Alex, I don't think this battle is done and dusted.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen crazier things happen late into the night in an oval race here. I mean, a yellow could come out and throw a wrench into the entire race here. So it looked like Switcher was getting around DiPiero there. Bobby Ross still trying to hold off Jimmy Howitt here. And really, I mean, anything could happen. I mean, there's still trucks racing fairly close together that could result in a yellow. I mean, you see the 37 of Jimmy Howitt racing Bobby Ross here. Actually, Jimmy Howitt got a really good run down that back straightaway. He's making up a little bit of time, not close enough to make a move. However, you see Sam Cook on the background just preying on the downfall of these two drivers if they so choose to race each other. Jimmy Howitt gets to the back bumper. He's going to try a look to the inside. It looks like Bobby Ross got tight off turn 4. Side by side down the front straightaway. Bobby Ross leads them at the line and onto the brakes for turn number 1. Looks like Jimmy Howitt is going to get there through turn number 1, but I think Bobby Ross is going to have the better exit there. And it looks like they're still side by side, just barely. Jimmy Howitt, it looks like now as he sends it into turn 3 and 4, is now in the clear. And Sam Cook also trying to make a move a little bit there.
So the 37 finds himself in the podium spots with 9 laps to go in this Phoenix race. The 340. Tim Cox trying to find his way past Gas, and these two have always been inseparable for this race. Cox goes to the inside. He's going to take the low line. Force Gas to go all the way around the outside of turns 3 and 4. Tim Cox pulls up to the normal racing line. Tim makes that move. The 340 now up into 6th place. Next up on his list is the 15 of Cook, although I feel like might be a little bit of a tall order, some 4 or so seconds in between Cook and Tim Cox. The 33 under pressure from the 15. A little bit high there from the 33. That's going to allow the 15 of Cook to get through. They're going to be side by side on as even as they head into turns 3. 15 on the inside. 33 trying to make his way all the way around the outside. They're still side by side as they slingshot out of the final corner across the line. 7 laps to go, and this is a battle for 4th place. 15 keeping it tight through turn 1, really forcing Alex, that 33, to go high. I know it's always difficult when you put in these situations, but out of these two, who do you think is the quicker car?
I don't know. I mean, I would honestly go with the chasing car in this situation. I mean, because it all depends really on the line that you choose to take. Because if Cook can get to the inside of Bobby Ross, he obviously has the speed to pass him. But if he can't complete the move, that's just a matter of their lines. And it looks like Cook's getting a little impatient. Gives him a tap off turn 2. That's going to send Ross way up the racetrack, and that's going to allow Cook to barely get to his inside here as they enter turn 3. Cook getting pretty impatient in that 15 truck. That could end up costing him in the long run here. Bobby Ross can get back to his bumper, which Ross is going to get a nice run off this corner. I don't know if he's going to take that from the 15 truck. It looks like he has no choice but to take it as the 15 sends it into turn 1 and 2. But Bobby gets a really good run out of that corner and is going to continue to close that gap down the back straightaway. And these guys are all struggling on the tires. You can just tell by how much slower they have to get down to in the corners to make it through. And it looks like Sam Cook is going to be in the clear as they get 4 to go at the line.
To the 15 finding his way through. Whether 33 of Ross will be happy, I'm not quite sure. He called it very right there, Alex. A little bit of an impatient move from Cook, but Cook up into 4th. Jake Ham, though, the 85 after almost that strategic error early on after the first caution. As soon as he got the lead, he's just been extending every single lap. The gap is now up to 3.3 seconds. Right on board with the 85. He's got 3 laps to go. He's cruise in his final 3 laps. Doesn't really need to take any risks. He's got a lap car up ahead of him. I do believe that's Jerry Di Piero, the 177. Don't think he'll catch him in time. So Ham very much just got to cruise to the end. We've got 2 laps to go here at Phoenix for round 9 of the XSLR Championship, the first race of our oval leg. 3 more oval asphalt races to come in this season. It's very much going the way of Jake Ham at the moment, and this will be the 85's first win of the season. His best result was the 2nd place all the way back at Long Beach in round 2, so he's had to wait a while to end up on the podium. White flag flies here at Phoenix. He does end up catching the back of the 177 car. A little bit of contact there. Ham getting impatient, but everybody survives. And now Jake Ham doesn't need to risk anything, doesn't need to do anything other than cross the line and take this well-deserved victory. He comes around the final corner, will get a slingshot. They'll go side by side, but the honours do go to the 85 of Jake Ham. Crosses the line for an astonishing win. Clog in 2nd place. Clog up 8 spots from where he started. Howard will finish in 3rd, Cook 4th, and then it'll be Ross, Cox, Gaskier, De Silva and Swetzler, your top 10. And wow, Alex, what a race we saw here today. It's fairly clean. I think it was cleaner than I was expecting. We had a little bit of a caution experience through the mid part of the race, but at the end of the day, nothing could phase this man, Jake Ham, and he is your first oval winner of the season.
Yeah, an extremely well-deserved victory from him. He was consistent all race long. And here's your race results. Jake Ham, as you see him doing his burnouts in the background, a great sight to see for that number 85 truck. He wins on the day here at Phoenix. Josh Clog ends up just behind him in 2nd. Jimmy Howard ends up P3, and Sam Cook ends up P4 after a late race battle with Bobby Ross, who finished behind him. Everybody else celebrating in the background you can see as well. Tim Cox there who said you replaced him here, gets P6. A great result for himself in his first race here. Brandon Gass ends up P7 after some pretty much visual wear on the tires after how slow he was going. Unfortunate, but he ends up P7. Not bad at all. James Keir ends up P8. David De Silva in P9. Randy Schweitzer in P10. Jerry DiPiero in P11, Mike Sorum in P12, and Adam Thompson, being involved in pretty much every wreck of the night, ends up on an unfortunate P13, but just great result from everyone here tonight.
Celebratory donuts very much underway, and actually, really, Jake Ham's only transgression in today's race was that little tap of the wall he had after the donuts. Tell you what, why don't we have a little bit of an interview with your race winner, Jake Ham. And Jake, welcome to the commentary booth, your first race win of the season. And it's fair to say you pretty much had that one undercover for most of the race. I mean, it looked fairly simple for you out there today.
Yeah, what a heck of a run. Nice to finally get on oval asphalt where I shine, I feel like. And there was no way I wasn't letting an American flag win this.
I mean, I can get behind that. Of course, only two British drivers in the field, Tim Cox and James Keir. So I want to ask you about that first caution, because we were kind of surprised that I think it was you, including the top four, didn't come into the pits. Is there any reason that you didn't want to come into the pits? Because it meant that you ended up having to do quite a lot of work to retake the race lead.
Yeah, I knew that I was going to be pretty good at conserving tires. I ran here before, and I knew if I could just get one more caution, a couple more laps, that would help me get it to the end. And so at the end of the day, it worked out. It was a little bit of a gamble, but it played out really well.
I mean, it certainly did. So next we head to Talladega, obviously very different track from Phoenix where we're at tonight. Do you fancy your chances? Do you think you might be able to make it at 2 wins from 2 races in the Oval League?
Only chance you got is drive to survive. It's all up for grabs at Talladega.
Well, we wish you luck and congratulations on your first race victory of the season. That's Jake Ham, your race winner. Oh, actually, before I let you go, Jake, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to at all on the broadcast?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, today, 9/11, remembrance for everything and all the people that we lost. That's why we get to come out here, do what we do today, remembering everybody that we lost that day. Obviously, SMB, appreciate the broadcast. Love to go back and listen to it. Thanks for hosting.
Lovely sentiments there, Jake. Thank you very much for coming to have a chat with us in the commentary booth. And Alex, have you managed to find anybody in the paddock to have a little bit of a chat to?
Yeah, I've managed to grab our man Josh Clogg, who finished P2 there. Great drive from you, Josh, there, and you really were consistent all day there. I mean, you started P10, so it was a really big drive to the field for you, and you ended up P2 at the end of the day.
Yeah, very happy with it. It was definitely, had to stay calm and steady. Tried to save the tires. Was really second-guessing myself whether to have pitted when the rest of them did. Probably still should have in hindsight, but I got away with only losing the one spot to Jake, who was going to be faster anyway, so I'm happy.
Yeah, you did a really good job behind the wheel of that truck, and I gotta say, it was a pretty big show to watch you guys. I mean, what was it like when, the 85 was coming up on you in your mirror with a little bit fresher tires there? I mean, what did you try to do to try and keep them behind you and try to maintain that top spot?
Oh, nothing at all. I saw him coming, and I saw the gap to 3 and 4 was still growing for me, even though I was losing to Jake. So I figured, let him go, we'll pull away, and I'm happy to settle there.
Yeah, and before we let you go, anybody want to thank here live?
Yeah, thanks to you guys for a wonderful broadcast.
All right, well, I am going to drag you back. It was great to talk to you. Hope to see you back up here next week, and I'll see you later.
All right. Have a good night.
Yep, you too. And that was Josh Clock, finished P2 at the end of the day. And Seb, I take it you were able to find our final podium member?
Certainly was. Jimmy Howitt, driver who finished in 3rd place, joins us now. Firstly, congratulations, Jimmy. Looked fairly frantic out there at times. How do you feel your race went? Are you happy with 3rd in the end?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty happy about it. I mean, I'm a Man City fan, so I'm not used to finishing in the Liverpool spot, but 3rd place will do for me.
Jeez, you're gonna make some people upset with that one. I don't even watch football or soccer, but you're gonna make some people upset with that one. I know.
I mean, Jimmy, it seems like you've come into the commentary booth and choose violence. So, thank you very much for that. So you gained 1 position overall, started 4th, finished 3rd. Are you happy with that, or after all the cautions that we had, do you think that a higher place was up for grabs at the end?
I mean, I was ready to start in 4th, but finishing 3rd was okay. I mean, if it's good enough for most of the law, it's good enough for me.
And just talk us through the other battles that you had as well. I think at some point you were battling with the 33 of Bobby Ross and Sam Cook as well. How difficult is it? Give a sense to our viewers. How difficult is it to fight or to battle drivers around Phoenix, being quite a small, tight circuit?
It's pretty close when it gets side by side, especially in the turns and the kink, but if you know how to leave it a space, as one Spaniard F1 driver put it, you'll be fine.
All the time, you have to leave the space. Well, thank you very much, Jimmy. Congratulations on your podium finish. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to at all on the broadcast?
I'm Scottish, so I just want to shout out the Queen for giving me the vigor to win this race, because I'm just celebrating what happened this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was Jimmy Howitt, your 3rd place driver. That is your podium here today. And Alex, well, what a race we have had. It's always difficult to sum up a race at the end, especially when you get put on the spot, but even harder after the race that we had today.
I personally thought it was a great way to kick off the oval stretch of races for the XSLR Championship. I mean, next week we head to Daytona, which is going to be a very interesting race. We all know, if anybody here knows Daytona in terms of ovals, it's going to be pack racing, it's going to be close, it's going to be fast, and the big one is going to be a common factor in terms of drivers wrecking. So definitely looking forward to that one, and definitely thought that this was a great race to go along with it.
It certainly was. And we will see you in 1 week's time, where we return for some more oval action. If it's anything like today, then undoubtedly you need to tune in to watch another round of the Cross Series Racing League. My name is Sebastian Bosher-Williams. Alongside me has been Alex Andersen with Jonathan Grabowski in production. And thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you very, very soon.